Oh, hey y'all, hey. Hey everybody, and welcome to Tootie Talk Says. I am getting chilly, so I need to put my jacket on. But y'all, how's everyone doing? I know the kids are going back to school. That's why I'm home today. Usually I try to take the first day off of school to take my babies to drop my babies off because I'm not able to do it. Oh, sorry, got an echo. Because I'm not able to do it for the rest of the year. So I usually try to at least take the first day off. So that's why I'm on at this time, y'all. And I ain't gonna get no interruptions, hopefully. Man, trying to get this doggone. There it is. Okay. And I ain't gonna get no interruptions, hopefully, okay? Because the babies are out. They is gone and dropped off at school. I'm over here chilling. And then dropped off at school. How was y'all first day? If y'all have kids, that's my bad. Trying to cover everything up. If y'all have kids that was went to school, how was it dropping it off, and what grades is they all going to? Because I have a 20-year-old, she's out, and I have a 9-year-old and I have a 2-year. So baby, I'm counting down the days. Okay, I'm like the years. I was like, man, she's only 2. She haven't even started school yet. You know how many more years I got left? But yeah, my babies, the kids are a blessing, y'all. So my daughter's too excited. She said, my glow up gonna be hard this year, mama. So she been waiting for the first day of school because she got to go in there and show them her glow up. I said, okay, girl, make your glow up hard, but you go even harder on them grades, okay? Now, yeah, so anyway, while dropping my daughter off, right, I heard this conversation on the radio, and it was saying that Hispanic women Black women are raised to be independent, while Hispanic women are raised to be wives. So there was a clip that they played, and once I made it back home, I said, "Let me find this clip and see what this was all about." Because initially, I'm like, and I wanted to find the clip to see if I was right. I said, "This ain't nobody but a black man." Well, he're talking about what black women ain't raised to be, right? And initially, I thought that this was going to be some coming down on the black women typical red pill type crap was just seems like that's been out there. Because I'm like, if black women, and the example that they used was that black women are raised without their father in the household. Their mama had to take care of them by themselves. So their mama typically raise a black woman to be independent because you're gonna have to go out there, you're gonna have to get it on your own, and you're gonna have to take care of yourself and things of that. So they're raised to be independent. So I was like, well, if you're raised to be independent as a kid, which means that the mom is raising you to learn how to cook, to learn how to clean, and things of that nature, right? Isn't that part of what men say make a good wife, cooking and cleaning? So how does that not tie into being a good wife, but it ties into independent? So I'm gonna show y'all this video because this video is from, I think the name of, I had never heard this podcast before, but it's from a podcast called Eight, the number eight at the table. And I also put the link in the description so you can go watch the full thing. But I'm gonna just show you what the person said. Now, this person, when you click on the video, I was like, look at DJ Envy. But there's not DJ Envy. He's actually, I was like, oh, a black man. I thought it was a black man, but he's not. I think he identified, he said he's a Dominican guy. But let me show you what he had to say.
A Spanish woman, they're raised to be a wife.
But why isn't a black woman raised that way?
Most black women are raised to be independent. Remember, let's be real. Most black women are raised to be strong, tough, independent, and don't take no shit. Because the daddy wasn't shit. I raised you alone by myself. Be a strong black woman.
Why do you think that it's such an issue that a lot more black men are dating Latino women?
You know what's funny? I know where it started from because,
back then.
So then he goes into the why the black men are dating Latino women, and this I really don't care about. I'll let it play if y'all want to hear it, because I'm not one of the ones who have a problem with people dating outside their race. I have a problem with people who date outside their race who try to put down their own race. But if you find love of another race, and I know y'all ain't gonna want to hear this, and good thing I'm not big, because Dr. Umar jump on here and say some things to me, baby. But I feel like I see a lot that black women don't date outside their race. I see that more than I will, and black men are just out here, everywhere and preferring other race over their own. So why would you just stay and not and close off? Well, I said, don't block off your blessings on some where we ain't the same skin complexion. That's what I used to say, baby, because I have dated outside my race. I am married now. Full disclosure, I'm married now, and it's to a black man. So I don't have a problem with black men. I believe a lot of the problems come up when people who date outside their race begin to put down that race. If you want to just date outside your race, you don't have to, well, black women is this and or the black women who date out, or black men is this. Just you found love with somebody of a different race. Why we can't just keep it like that and have to go back and down the race you come from?
Like in the 80s, the Spanish community, they didn't want their daughters dating black men. And for a long time, they told their daughters, don't date black men. So when the money came in the 80s and things got better, black men were able to sway the parents and get the girl. So we kind of like turn into like a trophy thing. Like, yo.
So this is this man saying that they started being able to date black men because you have money. Black men started getting more money in the 80s, whether it was from the crack epidemic, I don't know. Whether it was from athletes, whether it was from them being businessmen, whatever. Black men started getting more money in the 80s. So then they were allowed to date Hispanic women. That's what he just said.
I'm dating a mommy.
Don't come at me.
Colombian,
he said this.
Like something that's foreign or exotic. So I kind of feel as though like when even me in high school, if you didn't have no money, the Spanish girls didn't date you. So it's kind of like when you had a Spanish.
But then if black women like that, ain't we called gold diggers?
Finally, it was a big deal to you. So I kind of feel as though like it comes from the 80s when the black man was getting that money, buying cars, diamonds, all the gold, and the mommy wanted a part of that shit. And eventually it turned to having like a trophy, like, yo, I got a Dominican or Colombian or Brazilian. So that's where it comes from. It's a fascination. And if you peep game, most black girls don't really have a good story about their fathers, which is sad. So, most black women, when they grow up, they're not angry, they're aggressive because they have to be a little more, protective over their hearts, and they're aggressive. But meanwhile, the Spanish woman, when they see a black man, to them, it's kind of like their trophy. So
it's like a Spanish. What he said is when a Spanish woman see a black man, it's their come up. Where when a black woman see, when I initially heard this statement, and he was saying when a black woman see a black man, it's reminding of like a man who wasn't there, hence her father, a father that wasn't there. Now, I'm sorry, I can't relate because my father was there. I was raised with my daddy. So, and black people aren't the only people, and black men aren't the only men who don't raise their kids. So let's not put that out there either. But I was raised with my father, so that I don't relate to. Spoiled crap out of me and gave me everything I wanted. Now, so he's saying that's why black women was raised to be independent because the fathers wasn't in the house. So I'm like, this seems like it has some more to do. And I don't know black women who have a problem with what he said, because what he said reflect more negatively on black men. Because that means that he's saying black women weren't raised with fathers in their house. That has to do with the black men not being there and taking care of their family, not a reflection of a Black woman, because a Black woman now, if you have to be raised independently, you're just raised to survive, and you're raised to do what you need to do in order to survive without that man in the household. Where he's saying Latin women are raised with their father, and they're raised because there's a part of it where he say that he was dating a Latin woman, and he went and they had he went to the family house, they ate dinner, he picked up his plate, went and threw it in the garbage. And then the mom in Spanish was, getting on the daughter, because it's like, why is he picking his own plate? Why is he throwing it in the garbage and things of that nature? Whereas if he date a Black woman and he does it, the Black woman and her mom would be like, oh, well, he clean up after himself and look at it as a good thing. Where in the Latin community, it'll be looked at as a bad thing on the woman who's dating them, that you didn't get your man plate. So I want to go ahead and fast forward, y'all. This ain't gonna be long. I want to go ahead and fast forward to the Latin woman, and they ask her about it, and if she date Black men. So I want to fast forward to her response to her dating Black men.
And be loud and ghetto. I'm not going to be that girl. I'm going to be something different. And I think we'll get a different response from our men.
Lola, welcome.
Thank you.
Okay. As you're a Latino woman, okay, do you date Black men?
I do.
You do or you don't?
I do.
Okay.
That's all I date.
Why do you prefer to date Black men?
Oh, it's just the brown skin. The way that they actually treat women is differently than Latino men. They actually, the Black men that I've dated before, they respect you, their background and their way of treating their mom and their family is different than Latino men. Latino men don't give a fuck about what they fucking do to you. And if you find out that if they have a side bitch or whatever, I believe the Black man that I've dated, they're more respectful. Their wife is their wife. Untouchable. You understand? So for me, it's something different. I love Black men, so
hold on. Your point.
So that's her answer for why she date Black men, and that would reflect more negativity on the Latin men. She date them because, from her experience, the Latin ones haven't been right. They're not respectful. They're they cheating. They don't put their women first. That's her perspective on the reason why she date a Black man. Now, this goes, and it could leads into a long conversation as far as what I was looking up is the demographics of marriage, because this is talking about wives, that Latin women were raised to be wives, and that's why and Black women was raised to be independent. Now, when you look up the word independent, now independent is just is the dictionary according to Webster is not requiring or relying on something else. So I also looked at some other things where they was like, you can't be submissive and independent, because from this video, if you click on this video, you'll see these related videos of a lot of and I only seen Black females. It was Black females commentators who are saying that, oh yeah, Black women is not submissive, and they won't, and that's why they're not getting married. And the feminist society nowadays is messing up a lot of things, and women don't know how to submit, and Black women don't know how to submit, and all this. And the one lady said in her video that women are now claiming to be independent and submissive, and you can't be independent and submissive. And I'm like, well, because the definition of independent is not requiring or relying on someone else, I believe you could be too. In the definition of submissive is inclined or willing to submit to other. And when you see willing means it's a choice to submit to someone. You're making a choice to submit to someone. And when you make a choice, isn't that independent thinking? So aren't you the one who's making that choice? So I feel like you can be both submissive and independent. Like wives go out and we make independent, we do things independently. We go shopping independently. We come home and make that dinner independently. We go get these kids dressed. We take them to school. We do all these wifely duties. A lot of us do it independently without being asked, without this is a decision that we made, and these are things that I'm doing, fulfilling my duties as a wife and as a mother. And I independently chose to do this. So I can also be submissive as far as when there's the decisions to be made in that regards to household, that I'm going to incorporate my husband opinion or feelings into that. So I could be independent doing things that requires for me to do to get this house done. Like he's independently going out there working to pay the bills, right? We're not going to the same job. I'm not punching his clock. He's not punching my clock. We are making independent decisions to go out there and work for the benefit, for the best of this house. Now, when it comes to household decisions, being like recently, me and my husband before school started back, we had the decision of whether or not we're going to keep our daughter in private school or if we want to transfer her into public school. Now, I didn't just go out there and make the decision. We sat there, we talked about it. Both of us expressed our views on what we feel the pros, cons, and what each one feel like. Should you do it? Should we do it? Shouldn't we not do it? Reasons why. Now, at the end of the day, both our opinions are going to be respected. And if my husband has a better opinion and better view and what he feels like is going to, what he feel like and because I could be set on what I want to do, but I'm going to take into account what he said. And I'm like, okay, if that's what's best for this household, that's what's best for our children, then yeah, we're going to do what he wants to do at the end of the day, because that's the way a marriage should work. You both are supposed to be able to be, hopefully, submissive to each other. It ain't no one-way street. So if you're saying that, to me, it's kind of like an oxymoron. If we raised to be independent, so we're not raised to be wives, I don't understand how you're not raised to be both. My personal life, my people, my parents, my mom from Mississippi. I'm Chi-Town born and raised, y'all. City girl. Not these new city girls, but Chi-Town born and raised, okay? So when they talk about in my family, and I told y'all, for all who have watched before, I'm one of 7 girls. My mom had all girls. All of us fix our husband plates. All of us, like, actually, all black women I know, all my friends that are married, all my friends that are in relationship, black women, fix their husband plate. And I said, I can't say that this is the majority, because I hear people say a lot with the black women not being submissive and not. To me, I'm trying to see, when people say black women are not submissive, are you just saying we ain't doormats? Because yeah, we're not. we're not doormats. And you said we just don't do what you say do when you say do it. Because a lot of people, when they say the not being submissive, and they use examples as if fixing a men plate, catering to your men. Every black person, every black woman I know does it. Every single one of them. No, there's only one married black woman I know who do not fix her husband plate. She cooks and everybody fix their own plate. Everybody else, they fix their own plate. Even at you see family get together, most of the time the women are in the kitchen, the men sitting there watching TV, and they fixing their plate. That's on my husband's side. On my side, like, I don't know where these women y'all talking about. If this white string is showing, I just threw this on, didn't even fix it, nothing. I don't know. In my brush, I got to do better. Yeah, I said, I don't know what these women. Maybe it's the city girls. Maybe y'all talking about them city girls and those Sukianas and that the booty hole brown and eating. I was eating. Maybe y'all talking about them women. Because everywhere else, I don't know these black women that y'all talking about. Now that a lot of black women ain't gonna be willing to submit, and I feel like most women should be like that. If they don't, if y'all not all the other races, if y'all not taking note for black women, you have to be somebody that's capable of being submitted to, worthy, not capable, who's worthy of being submitted to. So if you're not doing things that woman is comfortable with you leading, then she's not going to allow you to lead. And so I was looking up the statistic, once this came up, because this is the way my math works. I'm looking up the statistics to see what's the demographics of marriages, because it's they're talking about black women are raised to be wives. So I looked up the statistics to see if black women get married less than any other race, right? So it was that black women get married less than other races, but it wasn't. But when you look up statistics, you have to be careful of what you're reading, because the statistic is, because I have heard people say that black women get married less than people because they're unwilling to be submissive and don't know men want to deal with the. No, black people, that includes men, black men and women get married less than other races, percentage wise. We're the lower of the population, so you can't go population wise. Percentage wise, they get married less than other people, and that's because of so that's black men and women. So when people throw that statistic out that black women get that's why y'all the least getting married. Well, so is black men. So that doesn't mean anything. And you also have to look at that with the races, and the numbers I was looking at is U.S. numbers. You also have to look at if black women and black men are the least getting married. Black men are willing more to date outside their race than black women. So if black women are exclusively just dating black men, and no, this is not a campaign for black women to date outside the race. I'm just making sense of the numbers. Now, if black women are least likely to date outside their race than black men. Now you look at this. I'm going to go through some numbers with y'all to just show facts, statistics of what I'm talking about. So you look at this right here. And right here is this is women here, Asian, black, Latino, white. And this is men. So if you see that the who they find the least attractive, this is according to like a dating app, and it classified, took the demographics of women versus men, and they broke them into categories. Now, the lowest response rate for women of other races were 2 black men, Asian, Latin, white. The lowest response rate were 2 black men, except with black women. Their lowest response rate was 2 white men. So you can see from that statistic right there that the other races find black men the least attractive, where black women find white men the least attractive. And then you look at it according to men's versus women, that men on the other side find that black women, they click on black women the least. And that included black men. Click on black women the least. Whereas black women did not click on black men the least. And I said that shows something. Who we gonna marry if our own cat is click? I mean, how did the black women out here dating? If you're only dating black men, but the black men finds you the least attractive of all the races, I mean, that kind of puts you at a disadvantage, right? In a dating, because you got to date first before you get married, and a lot of people are dating now on these, online. And according to the online statistics, the black men, and matter of fact, at the highest proportion, the black men click on black women the least. They're 16%, where Asian men is 10, Latin is 9, and white is 8. Yeah. So then I wanted to show y'all this other statistic. Let me see. So this was just a statistic saying that in the United States, and this is why I started looking at the statistics, because it said in the United States, the growing racial and ethnic divide in marriage. So the United States shows strikingly racial and ethnic differences in marriage patterns compared to both white and Hispanic. Black women marry later in life are less likely to marry at all and have a higher rate of marriage stability. So that's I'm like, what causes this? And that's what happened with my mind when I started thinking about stuff. I'm like, what causes this? And so that's why I went into the numbers. Like, okay, so how are we dating? Because I know in with my friends, I think I'm about the only one who, when I was dating, would date outside my race. I don't know any that would date outside their race. And I'm like, you gonna have to, if the black man ain't out here trying to date you, and no, I am not no Cynthia G, because like I said, my husband is black, okay? But then I look at like what in the interracial dating, how does it compare? Who dates outside their race the most? So if you look here, the ones who date outside their race the most is black men. Now, first of all, black men the least likely to get married, right? So then if you have the black men, that black women, a great majority of the time, according to the statistic, black men black women almost exclusively date black men. Like they click on them the most. They're the ones that they're first initially attracted to. There's not a high rate of interracial dating when it comes to black women dating outside their race. So if we're getting married less, black women, black men, we're getting married less than anybody else. And the pool of men that you're dating, that you're clicking on, is only black men. But in that pool, they're not clicking on you. They're not just dating you. So this was among blacks, men's are most likely than women to intermarry. And the opposite is true for Asians. So if you look at this chart right here, and it's men to women, white, they typically there's even. But if you see the number of black men compared to black women who date outside their race, it's double. Black men date outside their race twice as much as a white woman. Then you see Asians, where the Asian women date outside their race more than more than Asian men. And then you see the American Indians, which is the Native American, and there's a higher percentage of them dating outside their race, but it's still the American Indian, the Native American woman date outside their race more than the Native American men. And if you look at this chart, the only race that their men date outside their race more is black. The rest of the people, that the women date outside their race more. Black men are the only black people. The black race is the only one where the men date outside their race more than the women. So, yeah, that was just something that I looked up and seen. I was like, oh, interesting. Because if you're having this big percentage of closing all these doggone tabs that's open, you have this big percentage of black men that either in a system, because whether it's the racial system has set up and being caught in that trap, whether it's justly or unjustly, I'm just talking about the numbers of them that's in there. Then you have to look at the numbers of also that date women. You have the homosexual that's not dating women. You got to take them out. You guys, so it's like now you also have the ones who, not only just because they intermarry don't mean that you don't like black women, but you have some of them who do not date Black women. Now, that's not what the statistics saying. That's just me watching different things on social media, on these different commentaries, these different TikToks where it's Black men who are pretty much seems like they throw Black women up under the bus. Now, that's some personal issues that they have to go work out. Well, initially when I seen this, heard this talking point about Black women being raised independent and Spanish women are raised to be wife. I thought it was going to be like a session of, that typical down in the Black women. They loud, they ghetto, they ratchet, they too independent, they don't listen, they won't be submissive, but it actually was not. So when it came to Black women raised to be more independent, I was like, yeah, I would agree, but if the reason for Black women are being raised more independent, the problem is not with the Black woman, the problem is with the Black men. Because in the examples that the guy said, they raised independent because the fathers wasn't in the house. Fathers are men. So they saying the mother is in the house and the mother is raising the kids that way because they have to be. They have to be more independent. So if that's the situation, then the problem ain't with the Black woman, baby. Y'all Black men do better. Yeah, I'll just play a little bit, but I'm not. So what do y'all think? Do y'all think that the statement is true that Black women are raised to be more independent, whereas Spanish women are raised to be wives? And do y'all think it's an offensive statement? Because I wasn't offended. And I am independent. Was that song? I'm a movement by myself, but I'm a force when we together. You make me better. Because ain't nothing wrong, in my view, ain't nothing wrong with having independency. Because then you go and say, oh, you can't look for somebody to complete you. You have to be complete and find somebody who compliments you. Right? That's the saying. So before you get to marriage, ain't being complete, ain't you independent? Like in your completeness, ain't you independent? You're independently happy. You're independently okay with yourself. So I don't see a problem with being independent and then becoming a wife. So I think that some people will take it offensively. But me personally, I don't take it offensively. I'm fine. I'm proud of everything, all accomplishment my independent self made before I met my husband. When I was out here, INDEPENDENT. Do you know that means she got her own house? Baby, I was killing that song. Okay, used to love it, blast it. Okay, because I want to be 100. I want to be complete and happy with me. And then I find somebody else who compliments my hustle. And we could hustle together and make it twice as better of what I didn't have just by myself. Come on, let's get it. You ambitious, I'm ambitious. Like, so I didn't find it offensive. Some people might, because some people, and I don't know why independent has been taking, it seems to be getting a negative connotation nowadays, that because a woman is independent, oh, she's too independent. Like independent is not should be, to me, it's not something offensive. Yeah, I'm independent. Yeah, I got my own mind. Yeah, I can think for myself. Yeah, I can take care of myself. Doesn't mean that my man ain't going to, or I don't want my man to take care of me or anything of that nature, that I'm not gonna be submissive to my husband, that I'm not finna let him lead because I'm independent. They're not exclusive. You can be independent and still let somebody lead. When you because there's a difference in independent. You can be independent and I'm independent, but I'm still a wife. I was independent as a single mother. Now that's completely different from being independent and being a wife. And when I say independent, I'm meaning that I have the ability to take care of myself. I have the ability to get the things that I want to get. I have the ability to make choices on my own. I choose to be submissive to my husband. I choose I choose to let my husband have say. I choose that my husband's opinion matters in what I have going on. As long as he choosing that my opinion matter and what he got going on. And make that clear, okay? In case he watch it, you know. But but there's to me there's absolutely nothing wrong with being independent. And there was a difference as an independent single mother and me being independent and me, my husband, and us sharing a life together. That doesn't take away him being the leader, him being a husband, me being a wife. You know, we both lead at different times in a marriage. That's to me in my marriage and every relationship that I have been in. Y'all steady trying to fix this shirt because don't it look this jacket? Don't it look like off? Like it ain't Santa, but and that white just steady showing. But in a marriage, in any relationship I'd have been in, that's how I want it to be. Like I forget who said it. Heard somebody said that it's not gonna always be 50-50 in a relationship or in a marriage. Sometimes it's gonna be 70-30. Sometimes it's gonna be 80-20. Sometimes it's gonna be 40-60. You know, sometimes it will be 50-50. But that's the whole point of a partnership, that when you don't have or when you're struggling, you can rely on that other person to come through and pull through. Now, if you don't say like when they talk about woman being independent, are you talking about her making her own money? Because if you're the only income provider, baby, soon as my husband, if he make enough money for me to retire, baby, I'm retiring. Okay, I'm out. I want to work. My shoulders is heavy as the head. Okay, how that independent thing is, it's tough. Like I said, I was a single mother. It's tough. It's hard. Yeah, I did it, and I'll do it at any time for my babies. I'm gonna make sure they always have. Okay, but it's hard, and we just make it look good now. Now because we didn't work so hard to get what we get, just that don't mean we also no, y'all too aggressive, y'all too no, we just ain't taking no crap because we didn't work hard to get every piece, every inch, everything that's within our thing. We didn't work hard to get it, so we ain't just finna relinquish shit to any old body. That's my opinion of it. I don't feel anything wrong with independent. Now I don't feel anything wrong, baby. My goal is to be a housewife only. Okay, not an employee, nothing. Housewife only. When I get there, I will still have my independent thoughts, and we could talk and everything. I don't think your independence have to go away once you get married. Then you aren't y'all then dependent on each other, you know. So you still have your own mind and you can still make your own choices. I believe everybody make choices independently. So why is it wrong for then a person to be raised independent? To me, being the women who are raised to be independent makes better wives, right? Because you know how to cook, you know how to clean, you know how to especially if you have siblings and things of that nature. You didn't already raise kids, baby. You didn't already raise your younger brothers and sisters. You had to independently get up, get them dressed because your mama was at work because she had to work. You know, it wasn't no her staying at home. She had to work for those households. This one I'm assuming for the households who did it wasn't there. This is what I see in the movies and stuff, y'all. So the parents, your mom had to get up. You had to stay home with the kids. And even my mama worked all her life. She worked. So, and there was always two parents in the household since I was born. Now, she had to get up. She worked and she went to school at one point. One point, she worked 2 jobs and went to school until she finished doing what she had to do. So she was up early. The older ones had to get up and get the younger ones ready. So, yeah, she raised us to be independent, even with the bed in the house. We learned how to change tires. At one point, I had learned how to change the oil, change the air filter. Like we ain't never take out garbage or mow the lawn. So that I had to learn by myself. I had to learn on my own. But there were certain things that even with a man in the house, there was like, this is something that you need to know So you will always, because I mean, it ain't like you come out the womb betrothed. When not us, not here in the U.S. I know it may happen in other places, but you don't come out the room betrothed to somebody else. So what are you doing up until that time where you get married? You just independently relying on. Well, I get some people do independently rely on their parents until they get married, but not me. Okay, and during that time that you're in a relationship, you're just independently going from relationship to relationship, relying on other people to provide your essentials. Now, I ain't talking about money and things of that nature. If that's your life, do what you do. Okay, I'm talking about like your essentials, cooking, cleaning. So if you're raised independently, if your mom raised you to take care of yourself, a lot of those women, a lot of us, not those women, but a lot of us are just raised to also provide, to be nurturing, because independent does not neglect you being nurturing, you being caring, you being empathetic, you being respectful, and all that. You can still have all that, and still, and to me, all of those qualities make a good wife. So is it just the woman not raised to fix your plate? To fix your plate? Yeah, I don't know. Make that, make sense to y'all. Y'all just go ahead, drop y'all comments and say how much y'all don't disagree with me. I mean, how much y'all do disagree with me, because that's probably what's going to happen. Okay. How y'all do disagree with me, but I'm forever be proud to be independent and have my own mind. And I'm also going to be proud to be able to communicate and share with my husband. You don't have to pick a side to me. Y'all go ahead and put in the comments if y'all disagree. I feel like wives can also be independent because they can think independently on their own. Y'all go ahead, comment. Also, don't forget to like the video if you're watching. Go ahead and like that video. Follow me on all the social media: Facebook, Tootie Talk Sense, Instagram, Tootie Talk Sense, Twitter, Tootie Talk. And I'm about to watch this Real Housewife of Hollywood, and not Hollywood, Real Housewife of Atlanta, and probably come back and do a review about that, y'all. So until next time, bye. Let me get my independent butt on up out of here.